It's not politicians that can solve problems. They have no technical capabilities. They don't know how to solve problems. Even if they were sincere, they don't know how to solve problems. It's the technicians that produce the desalination plants. It's the technicians that give you electricity, that give you motor vehicles, that heat your house and cool it in the summertime. It's technology that solves problems, not politics. Politics cannot solve problems because they're not trained to do so. Instead of putting up a sign, drive carefully, slippery when wet, put abrasive in the highway so it's not slippery when wet. And if a person gets in a car, they're drunk, and the car oscillates a great deal, there's a little pendulum that swings up and back, and that'll pull the car over to the side. Not a law solution. Put sonar and radar in automobiles so they can't hit one another. Man-made laws are attempts to deal with occurring problems, and not knowing how to solve them, they make a law. You can't find the answers by declaring a society democratic. You can only find the answers by research and development. You can't find the answers by putting people of high moral character in government. You can only find the answers by innovation, by studying the systems and the problems, and working on methods of alleviating those problems, not through law. Law is when you don't have a method of solving a problem. If people steal or hurt one another, you say it's against the law to hurt somebody. Well, if a person doesn't have the means to live by, he's going to hurt somebody to get the money or whatever they need. So that isn't dealing with a problem. Law is really avoiding problems. It's just nailing a proclamation on the wall saying, you don't do this. You see, it doesn't work. In the long run, you might cause people to consider an action before they take it. But all laws come into existence because of scarcity. Always difficult to imagine that. When there's scarcity of water, people will steal it, remove it, if not for themselves, for their children. So all the laws in the world, but if you don't want people to steal water, you build an electric fence around the water. See? And this is the way you say, you don't need to put up a sign, don't steal water. But those people will die. So we don't want to do that. We don't want to build a fence around our country, say, this is the greatest country in the world, we're going to keep it that way. We depend on other countries. If we live to ourselves, I can assure you, we'll die of ourselves. Right. Because if the Russians do nuclear testing and they dump radioactive stuff into the sea, or the Japanese, the world is one big place, and the air moves around, and the waters move. Therefore, living to yourself, your little isolated colony, your little culture that you want to build, your little city that you want to build of people with like-mindedness, all of that has no basis for survival. Because in the event of catastrophic failure, you will be invaded by the minorities if they don't have food, water, or the wherewithal to live. If you eradicate the conditions that generate what you call socially offensive behavior, it does not exist. The guy said, well, isn't that inborn? No, it's not. War, poverty, corruption, hunger, misery, human suffering will not change in a monetary system. That is, there'll be very little significant change. It's going to take the redesign of our culture, our values, and it has to be related to the carrying capacity of the earth, not some human opinion or some politician's notions of the way the world ought to be, or some religious notions of the conduct of human affairs. So we have many people in government, politicians they're called, and they say things people like to hear. They say things the only way they can get elected, because they say most of you are wrong in the way you're brought up. They'll never make it. You understand that? So politicians say things people like to hear. If a politician discovered that the earth was round, if you want to get along with people when they all believe it was flat, you can say, folks, it's a little round and a little flat. You get along with most people. But this is the business of science, to get along with people. Our business is to say, if you believe the earth is flat, this is the evidence we have to show that it's round. Present the evidence. That's the best you can do. But when you cater to people's beliefs, you're holding back. you're dishonest, you're corrupt. That's why politicians can never be honest, because they depend on voting. They depend on people supporting them. So the people will support them if they're ignorant.